Well, the head of Houston's budget committee shared a dire warning regarding the city's finances. She says if they don't raise taxes, the city could face $500 million in deficit in just a matter of years.
But Mayor John Whitmire says now's not the time to raise taxes. ABC 13's Nick Notario explains what's being considered to raise revenue and not your taxes.
Mayor John Whitmire says he doesn't want to increase taxes and may not even impose new fees. He's eyeing dipping into the reserve money. However, some on council say that could be problematic, especially if a hurricane or another disaster were to hit. A series of events has some Houston council members sounding the alarm. After increasing police and fire pay and settling a water infrastructure lawsuit, they were at odds with the mayor's plan not to increase taxes. City officials say those three items alone are expected to add $285 million more to the budget.
Someone's going to have to deal with all of these decisions that we are making today. And we're putting ourselves in a deeper and deeper hole without any real explanation on how we're going to get out of it.
The hole, council member Edward Pollard says, could balloon to nearly $500 million in 5 years, a figure that has caused one council member to break from the mayor. Earlier this year, council member Sally Alcorn stood behind Mayor John Whitmire as he laid out his budget proposal. Today, though, she voted against his plan not to raise taxes to handle future budgets.
I only have 2 more years here at the Horseshoe, and I want to do everything I can to put Houston on a stronger financial footing. So while I have respect and trust in you and your team and your plans to right the ship, I think it's a swing and a miss to not bring in the revenue we need to cover our budget.
Whitmire's team wants to use reserves to cover the deficit. It would leave the city with about $300 million. It may seem like a lot, but council members warn it may not be enough if a crisis were to hit. Whitmire, though, says taxes aren't the answer.
Folks are worried about affordability, and I want to be held accountable on whether I raise property taxes when there were other options.
Those choices, Whitmire says, could be savings through efficiencies. One option he's not considering right now is a garbage fee because he says Public Works says it doesn't need one. As far as how else he plans to generate money without raising taxes, he wouldn't say.
I'd love to go ahead and disclose everything that's in my mind, but all it's going to do is politicize the process.
Alcorn says that if they were to increase taxes to the limit where they don't need public support, it would cost homeowners about $2.85 more per month. However, council decided against it and decided to keep taxes the exact same that you're already paying. From outside City Hall, Nick Notario, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.